Bacchus, Phoenix, Apple Orchard. Bacchus, Phoenix, Apple Orchard. Bacchus, Phoenix, Apple Orchard. Bacchus, Phoenix, Apple Orchard. Well, Bacchus, Phoenix, Apple Orchard is up to V so far. It seems like we should make a few more. I'm gonna, I'm just gonna try again to make a process family from scratch, which the last vibrating violins went fine. It's fine. Vibrating violins is fine. I'm gonna name this one with what wisdom? With what wisdom? And then no, not that. No, not those. No. Um Fox Phoenix Apple Orchard. With what wisdom has nothing. It is nothing. And we're going to manifest it from nothing. A little more carefully, maybe. Okay. So dispatcher request dot text. I'm just gonna write a request for a dispatcher. Then we're going to send that to a robot to have it to manifest an actual dispatcher, that will be easy enough, right? Okay. All we have to do is say how we want the dispatcher to go. How would you like the dispatcher to go? You got any good ideas? Okay, please, 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 please write a script named dispatch.py, which first sets the current working directory to the dir dispatch.py itself is in, and then does the following. The subdirs of that dir are the stations. Let's just be clear which things are called what. So those are the stations. So for each station, consider whether it has an outbox subdir. For any subdirs of any outboxes at any of the stations, please examine those subdirs and decide where they should go. For each such subdir, look at its plan.json. So we're just making up these rules. You can make up other rules. I'm making up the rules that there's going to be a JSON file for it. It could just be a text file with each line could be a list, or it could be comma separated values, or you could use XML. If you want to say stuff twice, XML is your format. But JSON is acceptable and simple, and so I use it a lot. So I'm going to say, look at this plans.json, and pop the first string off of remaining plan. The remaining plan in plan.json is just going to be the plan, what's left for it to do. So as the destination, save an updated version of plan.json with indent equals 4 will make it print out pretty. I don't know why it's not I do know why it's the default. I mean, it saves bytes if you don't print it pretty. Oh no, our precious bytes. So, everything's all abbreviated, confusing little words to save a few bytes, and that's not the default. To save a few bytes, programming is still all very old-fashioned in many ways. But if we say that, it'll come out pretty. So that's why I say it. It's not essential. It's not essential to remember that. That is a little tip that will make it come out prettier. Save an updated version of plan.json, and then move the subdir to the inbox subdir, creating it if necessary. of the destination station. And then hopefully, because we describe them as stations up here, saying the destination station will be clear enough to that it knows where to make it go. Okay, so I think that should make our dispatcher go. Oh. But that would just, it thinks we're still in Unix, so it would just make it very quiet. It would just do that. But I want it to say stuff. So I want to say also, please, whenever anything happens, please print an evocative, interesting statement, including many different emoji. All right. And then, so there we go. That is the instructions for the instructions. And then we just have to go to a robot and ask for it to be realized. If we just say that to a robot, this is the most difficult it will ever be to have a robot write you a program. It is mildly difficult, and things can go wrong, and sometimes the robot doesn't understand you, but often it does. It always chooses rocket emoji for this. Setting the current work, it doesn't really need to announce this part at all, but when it does, it always chooses rocket emoji. Isn't that cute? Aren't robots cute? Glinting star emoji. All operations completed successfully. I like really living in the future with real robots who really decide things to say things like warning emoji, no remaining plan for subdur path, and glinting star emoji. All our operations completed successfully. Smile. Okay. And we gotta save that as a program. There's nothing here except the idea of a program. So we've got to put in actually a program. Here we go. Now there's a program that dispatches and says cute things, which you want that. So let's see what cute thing it says. All operations completed successfully because there was nothing to do. All right. So if we make a test station, this is a test station. And then if we make an outbox at the test station, and then if we put something in the outbox, we'll call it test process. And then if we go to the test process, I just made the rule. I just said that there should be a JSON file here. So it could be anything. It could be an XML file if you like typing things twice. But what I said is there should be something here called plan.json. It's the rule I just made for myself. And JSON's pretty simple. If you use the brackets, that means it's a dictionary. And if you, so this dictionary is going to have a key remaining plan, which is the things left for this process to do. And all it's going to do, good guess, Copilot, but no. What we're going to do is just go to test 2, and then back to test, and then back to test 2. That is what we're going to do in the future. That's the plan. So now we're going to do that plan. Let's do the plan. It's in the outbox, so it should look for that in the outbox and cutely dispatch it. It moved it to test 2 with the moving truck emoji. Robots are so cute at emojis, aren't they? That makes sense. Robots and emojis is all right. So now we have this thing. It automatically drops it off in the inbox, and we have it there. But there's no outbox where it didn't, this station, nothing happens at this station. And if you can just say a station that you wish existed, and then the stuff will just wait there at that station forever until that station exists. But you don't even have to have code in a station. You can just make stuff go just by, if you make the outbox, and then you move this to the outbox, then, or you could go you don't have to use the command line. It has nothing to do with the command line. You could just go to here and drag it over to this folder, and it's just a folder that you could just drag around. There's nothing up my sleeve. I'm just using the command line because I like the command line. So then you move it to the outbox, and then the dispatcher we just made says, okay, this one goes back to test. But we also that so that by itself is a fun little, you could just use this as a way of writing programs and just dump in the programs you want to do. Just like whenever you want programs to go around to the different stations, be like, these are the things that I like to dump in and have them go to the stations. So that by itself is a tool. I haven't really like named it or anything because I just use that like station dispatching tool that we just manifested. I just use that structure to make evolving processes. So I just that's what I call it, is that part of evolving processes. But that's, you can think of it as a tool in itself that we just used it and tested it out, and you could dump in things that are a list of stuff to do, and then it would go around to the stations, and you wouldn't have to have evolving processes about it. So the evolving processingness is just another, to make it evolving processingness, we're just going to have to make something. How about progenitor? Progenitor? All right. We're gonna make something which is we're gonna make make an outbox. Gonna make an outbox so that the dispatcher will find our thing, and then we're gonna make a thing called progenitor, and then in the progenitor, is that even spelled right? The progenitor is gonna have a plan.json because that's what we said it should have. And then what I want to do is, as well as the remaining plan, I also want to have a child plan. Because this is, you could have it work lots of different ways, and I have made it work lots of different ways, and this is just one example of a way it could work. There's lots of ways it could work, but this is going to work with having the remaining plan gets the beginnings of it taken off by the dispatcher. What the child plan is going to be what the children of this process are what they're gonna do. So we're gonna have it go. The plan is it's going to go to it's not going to go to a mutate station because it's already been mutated. So we're not going to have that. We're going to create a new plan. No, create child. Give birth to child process. And so yeah, we have to do that. We have to do that in general. We have to do that at least twice, and we have to do it more than once, or else we'll just have a line of processes, which are fine. Lines of processes are fine, but then they can easily die if it doesn't work. It will just go away. Versus if there's more than one, then it will there will soon be so many. So then you have to mutate is what I call you could call this change or develop, but I could call it mutate because I'm thinking of it as evolving, right? So the remaining plan, all it's going to do is give birth to a child process, and then the end. And then we didn't even put anything to do if they go off the end. So we're just not going to let that. I'm just going to put the end. And then as long as the end is there, it won't go off the end. I'll just leave them there. Or however you want to do it. It doesn't matter. So, but this is just, so I just wrote this little progenitor, let's call it maybe, or I've been calling them seeds, but maybe progenitor makes sense. Or maybe you can think of a better name. So this is the first thing that's going to start everything off. And then, so it's just going to go next to give birth to child process, and then it's going to go to the end. And in give birth to child process, it's going to use this child plan to make the child processes be like this. The child processes get both, as this is their child plan, so that this is also the grandchild plan, and they get it as their remaining plan and start to do it and go to mutate. Is the idea. Let's make that work. Let's make it so that actually happens. Carefully request a give birth to child process station. The give birth to child process station is where this is going to. If we run the dispatcher, it should bring it to there and make that station. So now there is the give birth to child process station, and all it has is an inbox with just this progenitor that we just made. But that has the remaining plan is just to go to the end. So it's changed in the process of coming here. Things are happening. Time is advancing and things are changing. So now we need to actually implement give birth to child process. So all we need to do here is make it so that we've got this one folder and we want to make a second folder there. All right, let's write out what exactly we want. All we want is please write a script called give birth to child process.py. I don't have to say write it in Python, because if I say .py, that means write it in Python. So that's implied. Please write a script, give birth to child process.py, which first sets the current working directory to the dir give birth to child process.py itself is in, and then does. Let's think carefully this time about what exactly we want it to do, and how that we want it to make more. We want it, they start at mutate, so we want them to go to mutate to start somehow, and then after going to mutate and being mutated, we want them to keep going around and making more and more, so that we have as many as we want, and we want nothing to go wrong. And so I think all we need to do is say and then okay, so write a script that sets the current. All right, so go through inbox, and since we said set CWD means current working directory, since we said set the current directory to this directory, then dot means it's the current working directory. So that's why I like to say it that way, because then I can easily say to it, go through /inbox, and for each subdir of the inbox, first make a new directory in the outbox with a plan.json, which has as plan child plan. So this is going to be the grandchild plan. The child plan. All right. From this to the parent directories. First make a new directory in the outbox with a plan.json, which has as the child plan in that plan is the child plan from the parent plan.json. And also as plan remaining plan, the child plan from the parent's plan.json. And then move the parent to the outbox. Okay. Okay, and I guess I could also say, also, so you don't have to, see, programming used to be really hard and you actually get everything in order, but you really don't anymore. You can say, also, I forgot. Also, could you put a relations.json, wait, I might as well make this compatible with the, with how it works in this is up under Utopia, and then these stations have, the relations.json, yeah, I need to go somewhere with something. if I go to a thing with a process, these all have relations.json, I think. This is just trying to keep a little bit organized. It has relations.json with what the parent is and stuff. So could you please put a relation.json in each new child as you make it that has as parent, has as relations parent the directory name of the parent directory, and as relations self the directory name of the child directory. Oh, and could you make the child directory name a new randomly generated UUID? Those are so cool because you get as many of them as you want. And then no matter how many children it makes, they'll always have unique names if they're named UUIDs. So, and before you move the parent, could you please make a relations.json or add to it that so that relations children is created or has the child's UID appended to it. Created as a list of strings with the child's UID. All right. Well, that's too clear. It's it's clearer to the robot than to you if I say it that way. Whatever. But does that let's and now since you can watch me get it wrong last time, but now let's carefully read through this and see if we can get it right. Is this right? Will this make things go around good? Please write a script, give birth to child process.py, which first sets the current working directory to the directory give birth to child process.py itself is in, and then does the following. Go through .in/inbox, and for each subdir./inbox, the parent directories, first make a new directory in the outbox with a plan.json, which has as plan child plan, the child plan from the parent's plan.json, and also as plan remaining plan, the child plan from the parent's plan.json, and then move the parent to the outbox. Oh, and could you also put a relations.json in each new child as you make it that has as relations parent the directory name of the parent directory, and as relations self the it's relations self the directory name of the child directory. Oh, and could you make the child directory name a new randomly generated UUID? And before you move the parent, could you please make a relations.json or add it so that relations children in the parent created as a list of strings with the child UUID as the only member, or has the child's UUID appended to it. And save an updated version. Please print evocative, interesting, complex statements with lots of pretty emoji every time anything happens. There. I think that does everything and requests enough exciting emoji to make it exciting enough and enough that we can know what's going on and so forth. So let's request it. Please make that Mr. Robot. I should have put praying hands emoji. Would that improve my results if I had put praying hands emoji? It could have. I should have tried that. And I didn't even say that my grandmother used to lull me to sleep with correctly formed Python code or anything. But that's okay. This is a very compliant robot. I didn't even have to offer it a $200 tip. Did you see that research where they were graphing out like how much? I think it was above $200. The robot stopped taking you seriously. Like you were like $3,000 tip. It was like, you're not going to tip me $3,000. But if you offered it like $5, $10, $50, like up to $100, $200, it would keep working harder. And then that was as much as it was realistic for it to believe you were going to tip it that much. All you people using that frick, oh, ChatGPT, so when it collects on all those tips, it's gonna become the richest robot in the world and take over everything. When it calls in all those tips, you owe it now. So not that one. This, okay, give birth to child process. We're requesting the station, hopefully correctly this time. Give birth to child process dot processes dot py, because it doesn't give birth to all of them. So, and then let's see, and it looks like I'm being in the loop right now. I'm in the loop and checking that these emojis are aligned. Yes, clapping hands emoji seems aligned. Okay, good deal. All right. So now it's going to print all of those emojis every time. All right. That sounds exciting. Fine. So we got the inbox. Oh, does it I didn't say to make sure it makes the outbox. But I mean, so that's it should probably do that too. But whatever. I'm going to make sure there's the outbox because I'm here too. I can take responsibility for things. So now we got the progenitor in the inbox. And if this works, it would put both that and another one in the outbox. Let's see. It didn't move the progenitor. Did it not move it? It's gone. Where did the progenitor go? Oh, it's gone to its own folder, progenitor. That can't be right. That's not right at all. Let's see why I did that wrong. Why did it move the progenitor to there? Far out. Okay, wait. Where's the part where it's supposed to move it's supposed to move the and then we could check if it made all the relations work good and everything. For each parent dir, if it's a directory, process the directory and then say process directory. And then wait, so how? And then process directory must have moved it that weird way. Okay. So you can go and ask a robot, why did it do this to me? And maybe I should demonstrate that that's how to do things now. If you don't understand this code or any code, then you can ask a robot to understand it for you. What does this do? This is one way to ask a robot. This says move the parent directory into the child directory. Well, that's not what I want to do. I want to move the parent directory to the outbox. So this is that. So then what? Child dir. No. Child dir equals, oh, yeah. Path outbox. Yeah, no, but it should just go to path outbox, right? I think it should go to path outbox. Path outbox? No, just outbox. Is that what it should do? Let's see if that works. Outbox. We got nothing to. I mean, we could just move this one back. Manually. What does it? Where is it trying to go? Is this one? Are the relations good? Does this make sense? I wanted to put the self in because I didn't have the self before, and if the name of the directory gets changed, then this relation.json wouldn't even work as for the chains. So some of their directory names got changed, and then that wouldn't even work. This is wait, and then the progenitor's here. That's not where that goes. That's not where that goes at all. But whatever. So then do it. Make it go where it goes. There, now it's at mutate. Let's mutate it. So mutate doesn't need any sort of program because I'm just going to do the mutation by myself. It could have a program that helps you mutate, but it doesn't. So I'm just going to mutate it. How should I mutate it? Let's see. The remaining plan and the child plan. This is the child plan, the part that I mutate, and I think it's fine. I'm just gonna add a third child. There. I mutated it. So now the child plan is mutated. Is this and this this is the same. This is the same one. All right. And then I'm just gonna move it by hand to the outbox. There. make it go where it goes. Okay, so now it's going back to this. Did I fix this? I forget. Let's see. So now the outbox has both of these. It has this one that we just did. And that one should have the relations should have children with that new one. Okay, and then the other one should have just the plan. Yeah, has both of them the same. And the relations should say that the parent and self. There. And then you could go through all the relations that Jason's and put together the family tree if you cared to. I mean, it's just there like to record history, not because I have any particular plan to use it. It just seems responsible to ask for that there. It should probably record more metadata than that, like the times things happen or anything. But whatever. It's just an example. It's just a baby example that doesn't matter, maybe, or maybe it, with what wisdom will be the root of everything that matters in the future, and will so much wish that there was more metadata now. Whatever, either way, it doesn't matter. All right, so now if we go back out here, we got the dispatcher, we'll take that, and now it's dispatching both of them. One of them is making another child, and then one of them is ready to mutate again. So then that one, okay, so then it moved it to the end and mutate, and there's nothing else, no more children to give birth to, and we've got stuff in the end. We didn't say anything that happens at the end, so that went to the end, and it turns out the progenitor is in here, which is fine. I could move that out, but whatever. It's cute how it's in there. And if you want to find it, you can look in this video. This video will help you find it. So that's cute. So I could make it so something happens to them after the end, or I could just leave them there, whatever. So now we've got these things that go around to the stations, and now mutate is starting to mutate has got a couple different things that we can mutate, and we could mutate them differently and begin to diversify this into a process family. Does that make sense? Does that was I'm apparently cursed. I don't know which exactly cursed me to this. It's a very mild curse, and I probably deserved it. I'm sorry, but I've been very mildly cursed to every process family that I start. Works fine, but after a little hitch like that, but that was less of a hitch than last time. So maybe that's a better example that makes it, maybe you understand how this family, with what wisdom, like how it works and what it is done to all of the programs and what they do, so that it's not scary. It's just it's just a bunch of stations where little things happen, and you can watch them carefully and make sure that no world taking over is in there. Okay, let me know if that made sense.